Okay, so in this deep dive, we'll be talking about a rumor that's really causing quite a buzz in the reality TV world. It's all about this potential new reality show, possibly set in Rhode Island.
Right.
And there's a pretty surprising casting detail, apparently, involving a familiar face from New Jersey.
Yeah, that's the core thing making waves. The whisper is about a potential Real Housewives of Rhode Island. RHORI, they might call it.
Okay.
But the real twist, according to what people are saying, is that Dolores Catania, from Real Housewives of New Jersey, is rumored to be actually relocating to Rhode Island, specifically to join this potential new cast. And this is all happening, interestingly, while RHONJ is on hiatus right now.
Okay, hold on. Dolores Catania moving? That's genuinely unexpected. It's not just like someone new joining. It's an established figure maybe making a huge geographical shift to basically anchor a totally new franchise.
I mean, if you look at the bigger picture, having someone like Dolores, a known quantity, step into a brand new series, that's a fascinating dynamic. It gives it instant recognition, maybe a built-in audience.
Sure.
But also, the challenge of how she fits in with totally new people. And the location they're tying this rumored RHOI to is specifically Providence.
Providence. Okay, so that's the potential hub.
Seems like it.
And how is this rumor, how is it even getting out there? Like, how is it spreading?
Well, it seems to be a mix of things. People are pointing to significant social media activity.
Yeah.
Calling them context clues that folks are piecing together.
Ah, the online detective work.
Right. And plus, reports suggest some of the talk is coming from people who are supposedly, connected to others who might be part of this potential cast.
Okay, so word of mouth from connected circles, maybe?
Yeah, which kind of adds that layer of, maybe there's something to this for some people.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Who else is supposedly in the mix for this potential Providence lineup, besides Dolores?
So the names floating around alongside Dolores are Liz McGraw, Rosie Woods, someone named Rula, Jo Ellen Tiberi, Monique Pass, and a Kelsey B. Swanson.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a list. A full potential starting cast.
It seems like it, yeah.
Do we know anything about these other names? Any details popping up about them?
There are a couple of little details. Liz McGraw, she's described as being in her late 40s. Apparently, she and her husband own a dispensary there in Providence. And the reports paint her as, very wealthy and pretty popular in Rhode Island circles.
Got it. Wealthy, popular, local business owner.
Exactly. And then Rosie Wood, she's noted as being in her early 30s.
Younger than.
Yep. Those are sort of the main snippets we have about the potential new faces right now. So if you want to keep up with all this, make sure you subscribe to Realty TV.
Yeah, and hit that bell icon. You don't want to miss our next breakdown.
Let's shift over to Beverly Hills. Kyle Richards has been talking pretty openly about social media, maybe even leaving L.A.
Yeah, this really speaks to the intense pressure these reality stars are under online. Kyle's speaking out against the toxic, the negative stuff from social media trolls.
And it's bad enough she's thinking of moving.
Apparently so. She says it's so pervasive, it's making her consider something pretty extreme. Moving to a farm, going off the grid.
Yeah, that's significant for someone who's been so public for so long. She mentioned Teddy Mellencamp too, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with hate while battling cancer.
Exactly. Kyle brought that up. Teddy's still getting awful comments, and she just asked, what is wrong with people? She finds that dark side of social media really upsetting, especially as a mom, worries about the effect on young people growing up with it.
And her own daughters have faced criticism online too. How does she feel they're handling it?
She feels pretty lucky, actually. Says her daughters are confident and have learned to let it roll off their shoulders, in her words. She thinks that starts at home. Teaching them self-worth isn't tied to outside opinions. And she noted, her daughters have seen her get bullied online too, so maybe that gives them some perspective. She was also really strong on kids not having phones too young, keeping them off social media as long as possible.
Makes sense. She also used the interview to talk about trying to use her platform for good. Mentioned showing mammograms on the show.
Yeah, she tries to consciously show herself getting mammograms on RHOBH, wants to remind women about early detection, thinking about her own mom's experience.
That's important.
And she applauded Teddy, too, for her strength and raising awareness through her own health stuff. Said Teddy is saving lives by talking about it. So yeah, trying to find some positive use for that huge platform amidst all the negativity.
Right. Okay, still in Beverly Hills, another update involves Erika Jayne. Sounds like more legal troubles.
That's the latest report, yeah. Erika Jayne might be facing a default judgment, possibly around $300,000 in that lawsuit from designer Marco Morante.
Okay, what happened there? What's the specific issue now?
Well, according to the report, the problem seems to be that Erika's lawyer apparently didn't show up for a recent court hearing down in Florida.
Oh.
Yeah. Efforts to get the case dismissed were apparently dropped, and now Marco Morante has filed for this default motion. It asks Erika and her team to respond really fast, like within 7 days.
So the lawyer not being there is the key thing right now.
That's what the reports are focusing on, the procedural issue. They were apparently notified about the hearing, but no reason given for the absence, at least not mentioned in court. A lawyer commenting on it, Ronald Richards, suggested this missed hearing and the aggressive default motion could mean complete disaster for Erika in this particular case.
And just remind us, what was the original lawsuit about?
Marco Morante, the designer, sued Erika quite a while back. He claims she ran up hundreds of thousands in fraudulent charges on his credit card. And on top of that, he claims Erika's false claims against him afterward cost him millions and basically tanked his career. So it's a pretty serious situation.
Definitely sounds like it. Okay, moving from those legal issues. Next update we have about Summer House. Paige DeSorbo opened up about splitting with Craig Conover.
Yeah, she shared quite a bit on the Summer House Season 9 finale. Looking back, she feels pretty clear it was the right call to end things.
Was there like a specific moment?
Yeah. It sounds like a conversation they had around Thanksgiving was pretty key. Craig apparently asked her if she ever pictured them, hosting holidays together down the line with kids and everything.
Yeah.
And Paige said she initially just said yes, but the question made her really think. She realized she didn't actually feel that way, and, well, it didn't feel fair to him to pretend she did. She told him she wasn't feeling what she's supposed to be feeling if we're thinking about getting engaged in the next year.
Ah, okay. That moment of honesty, that was the catalyst then.
Seems like it. It was after that chat she decided to end it. And interestingly, she also shared that her dad noticed a big shift in her after the breakup.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said her dad told her, "I feel like your personality's back. I didn't realize how different you kind of were, and now I call you and you're so happy." And Paige agreed, felt she had been different in the relationship and maybe didn't fully realize how much until it was over.
There was also some drama about an engagement ring after they broke up.
Right, yeah. That came up in December, post-split. Paige talked about meeting Craig in person, and he apparently told her he wished she hadn't ended things before you saw the ring.
Oh, boy.
Paige's reaction was basically disbelief. Like, is he lying? Especially when he claimed he'd had it for a year. She told her friends Lindsay Hubbard and Amanda Petula she just didn't buy it, that they'd never see it.
And she seemed really upset that Craig didn't defend her against those online cheating rumors.
Oh, for sure. That definitely seemed to play a big part in how she felt afterward. Paige claims she texted him specifically about all the hate she was getting online, saying she was getting annihilated and that he could clear it up easily.
And his response.
According to Paige, he texted back saying, "I don't feel comfortable saying anything at this time."
Ouch.
Yeah. That refusal seemed like a major turning point for her. Paige felt she'd always defended him, even admitted, her words, she lied through my teeth for him. So when he wouldn't do the same for her, she felt he was, again, her words, dead to me.
Wow. Okay, intense stuff.
Okay, let's jump right into Atlanta then. Sidora, she did an interview recently.
Yeah, giving her side after surviving that RHOA soft reboot, as some are calling it. And talking about the season, Porsha's return.
Right. Drew, she's been there since season 13, had some pointed thoughts. She kind of feels Porsha was, and I'm quoting here, brought here to give a life and a story that she wasn't able to deliver.
So Drew thinks that's why her own name keeps coming up.
That's what she's saying, yeah. Like every scene, every episode, every moment, even in her confessionals, she feels it's constant.
Wow. So she's basically suggesting Porsha's using her for a storyline because Porsha's own isn't, like, hitting, and production's letting it happen.
That seems to be the angle she's presenting based on what she's seeing air. She brings up the whole thing about working with Dennis McKinley.
Ah, the music stuff.
Yeah. Drew says, look, she does have music she worked on with Dennis. It exists. But according to her, it only blew up into this big issue, this talking point, when the cameras were actually rolling.
So not a big off-screen drama before that?
Apparently not, from her perspective.
Okay. And what about those pretty specific rumors about Drew wanting to sleep with Dennis while they were recording?
Yeah, she tackled that one pretty directly, used a kind of funny comparison about looks. She said, have you not seen my husband? I like a certain physique. I like biceps, not bellies.
Okay.
Basically saying, no offense to Dennis, but I mean, the physiques are different. That's what I'm saying. So she clearly feels that rumor is just unbelievable for anyone who knows her or her relationship with Ralph, her estranged husband.
Got it. Okay, Moving slightly, she also mentioned Porsha's friendship with Shamea Morton. She got asked straight up if she thought Shamea was Porsha's lapdog, and she doubled down. Said, oh yeah, I stand on that. Her feeling is Shamea is kind of living under Porsha's shadow, not speaking her own mind.
Any examples?
Yeah, she mentioned Shamea coming at her about something Porsha had already brought up, or like taking an innocent conversation and twisting it when reporting back to Porsha. Stuff like that, which to Drew fits the lapdog label.
And then there was the whole topic of her sexuality, the Ty Young connection, which Ralph, her estranged husband, apparently used as a reason for their divorce. Drew talked about that relationship, admitted there was, a lot of flirting, a lot of conversation, group hangouts, but she also clarified her boundaries. Said for her, there were certain things that I wasn't comfortable with, but, making it clear she wasn't judging anyone else. Her focus was on her own actions within her marriage. Said she loved her husband. There were certain levels she wouldn't cross.
So she is setting the record straight on her feelings, her interactions. But how did she respond to the idea that Ty was the reason for the divorce, like Ralph claimed?
Oh, she strongly denied that. Pointed out Ty was around, they hung out publicly, she wasn't hiding it.
Right.
So the surprise for her was Ralph claiming that specific thing was the reason. She insists it just wasn't true. Both Drew and the interviewer, Carlos King, seemed to feel Ralph was maybe grasping for reasons for the split.
Suggesting the real problems were elsewhere.
Yeah. And Drew also claimed Ralph had actually wanted an open marriage at one point. And interestingly, she mentioned she's still friends with Ty.
Okay, wow. Lots unfolding there in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Let's shift over to the Valley now. Michelle Sonier made some pretty strong accusations about her estranged husband, Jesse Lally.
Yeah, Michelle went on a podcast and shared some difficult claims about Jesse's behavior, specifically around alleged substance use and drinking after their daughter, Isabella, was born. She's 5 now.
She claims he started using drugs after the baby was born.
That's what she alleged, yes. Specifically said he started doing coke after Isabella was born, which she found really hard because, she claims, he'd previously been very anti-drug. She noticed a change and found it tough because she felt she could see him lying to my face.
And she also mentioned they didn't really wait for the show to break up.
Said she'd actually asked for a divorce a full year before the Valley even started filming.
The year before.
Yeah, but according to her, Jesse begged her for another chance. She said she gave him an ultimatum, basically a list of things he needed to change or do for the marriage to even possibly work.
What were some of those main issues she brought up, besides the alleged drug use?
His drinking was a big one she mentioned. Said he'd drink vodka on the rocks, which she just felt wasn't doable when they had a baby.
Okay.
And she also brought up major financial problems between them.
Financial issues, too. What did she say about that?
Michelle stated that while she was home taking care of their daughter, Jesse was out all day spending money. Made the pretty serious claim that he spent 90% of our money.
90%?
Understandably frustrating for her, feeling like she couldn't control it. She claimed he'd make excuses like, oh, I deserved it, or it was a family trip, so it's fine, which she clearly didn't agree with.
Does she feel he takes any responsibility for any of this?
She described his reactions as kind of all over the place. Said sometimes he will acknowledge what she's saying or agree with her points, but other times he just completely dismisses it. She quoted him saying things like, she's crazy, I don't know what she's talking about. She also claimed he puts on a fake persona if he thinks someone has money or if he's trying to impress them, saying that's not his real self.
Okay, definitely a lot of heavy accusations there. So if you want to keep up with all this, make sure you subscribe to Real Tea TV.
Yeah, and hit that bell icon. You don't want to miss our next breakdown.
Thank you for watching this video. See you tomorrow.